give a try on this straight out of nowhere. Scooby Meets Courage the Cowardly Dog. I'm not very familiar with the Scooby-Doo TV films except for like the Reluctant Werewolf or something like that, or the one where they find the voodoo dolls. That was so many years ago. I remember seeing that on Cartoon Network back in its glory days of Dexter's Lab and Johnny Bravo. Now for Scooby-Doo and Dexter the Boy, so I think this will be one of the greatest films ever made. But Dexter's Lab ended on a good note with Ego Trip. They did continue it, but it wasn't very good. And they brought Courage the Cowardly Dog along for the ride. And I love Courage the Cowardly Dog. It's not quite my favourite, but it's up there in the top 10. I certainly laughed at some of the more bizarre and surreal and, one can argue, disturbing and frightening scenarios that involve a dog and his elderly companions, Muriel and Eustace, who actually, Muriel looks a lot like my grandmother. I'm sure she'd probably get a kick out of it, but she'd say, "Oh, I don't like this, Mark. It'd be a bit too scary for you. Oh, no. Sounds a little like Lynn from Alan Partridge. Oh! But getting back to my point, the reason why I saw this was mainly because of Courage the Cowardly Dog. I love old school Cartoon Network. It was a bizarre sort of scenario to sort of mix that and Scooby-Doo. I know they've been doing these sort of TV films for a very long time by now, but I thought to, support it because it was that. Even though the original creator behind Courage the Cowardly Dog, his name is John R. Dilworth, had no prior involvement with the project. But I still saw it nonetheless. It's not the best thing, but I certainly had a kick out of it. There were certainly a lot of laughs, and we get familiar faces from the original series on board, like Cats and Lick-Clack, and an evil bug that is a fairly new character, and those toe things that say, "Yeah, see." We don't get freaky phrases like naughty or I'm just trying to think of all the characters that were along with it, because it ran for about 4 seasons. It came on for about 3 or so years, 1999 to 2002. This was a sort of golden age Cartoon Network. Well, actually, it's kind of started in 96, but that's just another story. But nonetheless, I certainly had a lot of fun. Not as much fun as Space Jam New Legacy. We still have more animated films to go through. We might get Wendell and Wild this year. We also have Flee, which is an adult animated film about an Afghan refugee's experience fleeing from there to Denmark, which will be pretty interesting. And overall, it's been a very bumpy ride. We've had a few elections that have just happened up in Canada and Germany. And then in California with the recall, you probably saw a little badge there. It's because I voted abroad. That I'd done from the Red Snapper interview, and I also interviewed the band as well, and Richard Parry, who done Southwest Line, which is a movie I'm a big fan of as well. So I've been definitely keeping busy myself, and I've been certainly having a lot of fun. But that fun might stop once I run out of cash, and then I'll be like, "Please help me!" So there you have it. If you are a big Courage the Cowardly Dog fan, approach this with caution. If you're not big on Scooby-Doo, you probably don't have to see it. I know the original creator had no prior involvement with this work, but his name was credited. But if you just like seeing all the sort of nostalgic elements here and there, I mean, Scooby-Doo has been around since the 60s, and that was a show my mother grew up on, and my father grew up on, so it kind of meets the best of both worlds in that regard. I don't think anyone under the age of 23, I'm a lot older than 23, can relate to or even younger than 20, they can't relate to this movie at all, because they never grew up on those cartoons. But yeah, that's all I have to say. And we'll see you next time for Many Saints of Newark or something. Skinny Ebert signing off. Until next time, feel free to keep on watching and... That's his little signature squeal. He's always...